Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, we're gonna continue with the components explorations in Sverchok, but we're gonna try to do it this time mostly using nodes instead of typing it in the text editor. Okay, so let's start with an object already. View from the top view, and we're gonna start with something that's kind of shaped like this, like a house. Gonna switch to edit mode, and maybe I'll do it like this. I'll select the edge mode and then extrude this up a little bit and scale it in X until it's 0, and then I'll just remove doubles. Go back to top view. Okay, now we have this house, and I'll display the wire. There you go. And now let's switch to compositing. Go to the top view. Now, if we bring this into a Sverchok, we can use objects in, get selection, and let's view it. Okay, that's what we got. The original we can actually hide it into different layer. Okay, now we have this guy, and then if we want, for example, if we want to move the top vertices procedurally, how are we going to go about doing that? First, let's check the index number. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Apparently, we need to kind of move index number 4. There are many ways to do this actually. If you know already that we can actually move the whole vertices randomly pretty easily because of one node, for example, this randomize input vertices. This guy can kind of randomize the whole vertices. But if we want to move just a single vertices, how are we going to go about doing that? What's the available node for us? We have a couple of ways to do this. There's a new one that's called select mesh elements by locations. This is actually very new, and probably I need another live noding to explain all this, and this is a little bit more advanced. But there is also like things like list mask, and then there's list item, and there's also list first and last. This also can work if you just want to move the first and the last vertices. This guy can do it for you. This guy is kind of separating the vertices into first, middle, and last. It's actually good for things like an array, because if it's an array like in a line, you have the first vertices over here for index 0, and then continue, and you have the last vertices over here, the one at the end, which is the last one, and you have the one in the middle. You can easily separate that using this list first and last. And there's also okay, list mask join. These two actually work together, and in order to make this a little bit more easier, there's actually another script node that's not actually showing here. It's actually, you need to load it from outside Sverchok. And this is my cheat list. This is actually in one of my blog posts on the same case here. If you want to select a vertices, if you know the index number, and let's say you know that this is index number 4, and you just want to select that index number, there is actually a quick and easy way to do that using the script nodes. It's actually one by Linus. I'll actually gonna load it real quick. So if you download Sverchok from GitHub, you should be getting this script already in the Sverchok master. You just jump into it and then find under node scripts, there is one by Linus here, and the name is mask set. That's actually the one that we're gonna use today. If you want to see this topic in writing, I actually made this. I put this in my blog like a while ago. It's in one of the Sverchok snippet. So this is the cheat list. Maybe I zoom in. Yeah, it looks like this. So this is the connection that you need to make. Looks slightly complicated, but basically this the blue color is the script node, and then you will use the mask list and the mask join as well, and then all these noodles just to select this indices number, vertex indices number 14, 15, 16. That's the index number. We're gonna touch this soon. So before we do that, I think an easier way to look at this, instead of looking at the house yet, I'm gonna hide the house, and I will use a line. Line should be easier to understand. So this is a script node that we're gonna use real soon. I'm gonna put that aside first. I want to explain something. Let's make 10 points of lines and look at the index number. So this is 10 points. Index start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then let's grab this script. Okay, we're gonna use this soon. We have list mask and list item. Usually the one that I use often is actually this list mask. List item is actually kind of useful as well. I show you why. This is a vertices, right? And vertices, this is the line node, and this guy has generated vertices and edges data for you. But we can easily put the vertices data into the list item, and with the list item we can actually just display certain items. See, start from 0 all the way to number 9, because number 9 is the last one in this case. And if you actually use a formula node, you can specify the number. Maybe you want to see vertices index 1, 5, 7, and it should display you that vertices. So this guy, and it. You can keep adding or removing. So this is that easy. Actually, you can also use the list item list input and use the integer here, and you can kind of specify, okay, I want how many? List number 1, 5, 4, 2. Plug this guy in, and we have points number 1, 2, 4, 5. So list item is good for that. Sometimes you do want to use that. Although when you plug this guy back into this and display it, you might not get the result you wanted. List item is good for that, but just showing you. A better way is to use list masking. So with list masking, it's kind of easier to display these points simply by providing the mask. And this mask is basically a list of true and false value. So currently we have 10 points, and in order for this to work, we need to provide a list of true and false for the mask. I'll use the list input, and we're gonna need 10 of them, and we have 0 and 1, and we need to plug that into the mask. Wherever we give it a 1, number 1, it should be like a true, 0 is like false. So if I display one of these, it's gonna give me the points based on the indices. This is like an on and off, or this is like a true or false. So make sure we understand that first. But that's still kind of a little bit manual, but this is if you have only 10 points and you want to turn on and turn off certain points and mask it using list mask, you can do it this way. A better way is of course to generate it procedurally, and we can use random number generator, for example. And let's look at the generated number here. This is the default, but we want it between 0 and 1. So that's a random number, size of 10 between 0 and 1. We can randomize the seed, and we get a different pattern. We can plug this into the mask, and you can see the result. See, if I compare this into the points, it should match exactly 1 1 1 1 1, and then 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0, and I can randomize it, and the points will change based on the list mask. So we're definitely gonna use list mask for this setup. But we're not gonna use random number yet. I'm gonna delete that. Instead, we're gonna specify based on the index number. So let's provide the index number once again using the formula node. And let's say we want to specifically like select index number 2, 4, and 6. So I already specified that in there. And we need to use this script node by Linus. And this is the set. The index, actually, this index is actually should be like a range of value of the first and the last. So it should be like a number between 0 and 9. So for that, we need to use a range integer and simply made a number between 0 and 9, and that's exactly already happening. Put it in there. So we have our mask set. The next thing we need to do here is to plug this into the mask, I believe. I'll look at my sheet. Okay, this is the set, and this is the mask. All right, and this goes into the mask list, and then we have the mask and the data, and all right, I got it. So we need to use the mask join, like I said, which is this guy. So the mask goes in there, and we have the data that's true and data if false. This should go in here, and if everything is correct, this should still work. And now if I'm kind of like randomizing the data is if true, so what's going on here, I think we are separating the selected vertices here with index 2, 4, 6. Should be like under data is true, and the rest of them is data is false. And we can't do anything to data is true. We can, for example, just move it up, vector move this guy in there, put that guy in there, vector in, maybe move it up, put this guy in there, and we should see a result. And looks like maybe I made a mistake here with this number and index. Let me quickly double check. Actually this is correct. It's not the z-axis. Oh, we're moving it up that way. Okay, we should look at it from the top view, so we want to move it up in y. Okay, apparently I'm doing it the right way just now. There we go. It is kind of tricky because it's using this weird kind of connection. This should and can be simplified at some point, but for now we have to leave like this. So basically, I'll repeat again. This script node, which is this guy from Linus, allows you to specify bunch of vertices, in this case 2, 4, and 6, and see 2, 4, and 6, and we tell it they should be like our selected points. Once we have them selected, of course we can do anything to it. See, we can move it up, we can move it down, and we can do it in any ways we want. So that's actually the idea. And if we change this, if we add like a number 8, for example, this guy will update. If we add number 0, this thing will update as well. So we have this pattern. And for this we can give any random number. So random number generator should do the job. Maybe we say give me random number between 0 and 10. That's gonna be our index, selected index. And there you go. That's what we have. We can randomize the seed. And yeah, so it's really up to you at this point how you want to continue with this. But we should soon go back to our house thing. But I will also show you that we can let's say we want to increase the line. Instead of 10, we want to have more. So maybe we have like 20 points, and that 20 points we should also specify here and there. For that 20 points, select random 5 random points and then move it up. This is actually, yeah, this is the setup already working. We can increase the number of points to be selected, and we can always randomize this guy. We can actually specify the number. Let's say we specify between 10 and 20. We have 30 points, and this one select any points between 10 and 20 in terms of indices, and then we can kind of move it up and down. We can randomize the seed. Yeah, I think should be clear enough. Yeah, the setup is quite complicated. In the first glance, it's super complicated, but you just need to remember, you don't need to worry about these guys that I'm putting inside the bracket. This actually will always happen. You just need to worry about the data that is true and data that is false. Data that is true is the one that you can modify in any way you like. If we use like randomized input vertices, data is true can go there and plug into data true. You can randomize it, randomize the seed, you see. So basically it's either we select those vertices with this index number or not. That's basically the point. In fact, we can actually, instead of random number generator, we can use a range integer and select range of number. For example, selecting between 1 and between 0 and 17, for example, and there should be randomized. We can also select between the one in the middle, select the one in the middle and randomize it. See, yeah, so that's actually the main idea. Now if we want to modify our house, which is this guy with the index number 4, look at it from the top. Let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to select number 4, and then at some point we want to select number 2, 4, and 3. So how complicated is this? Let's have a look. File save as. Like I said, we just need to have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna select all these, make a duplicate, put it down here, and I'll specify, okay, I just need index number 4. Plug this guy in, and this is the original data. Original data should goes into this setup, and this is the output, goes into viewer draw. And already we are randomizing that guy on the top. We need to ensure that we need to use list length actually. Of the total of all vertices should go into this guy, the count. Now the setup is already working for us. If we use a move, actually we don't need to use move in this case. We can just use a vector math. It's a lot easier. Vector in. This is that single vertices, and this is the output, goes into the data is true, and we can move it up. We can move our points any way we like, x, y. So in this case, we probably just want to move our house points ups and down in the y direction. So there you go. Like this is like a church. This is like a house with a very short roof. Okay, so you got the idea. Let's look at the index once again. So we are selecting index number 4 this way. Yes, it's a bit convoluted, but that's how it is for now. Now we can select vertices number 4. How about vertices number 2 and 3? How do we select them? If you want to select that vertices as well, we can do the same thing. So we have the whole setup. Once again, this thing might become a little bit more complicated than I intended to, but it should be simple enough. I think the whole thing should be like a monad, really. The whole thing can be like a simplified. So I duplicate the whole thing, the whole setup here. Maybe I should yeah, put it inside a frame. Now we know that this is the data being joined, so we have put that in there, and this is the data. We should plug in the original data into the list length. This guy goes in there, and let's say for this one we want to select index 2, 3, and 4, and there we go. Seems to be working. And this one we're selecting just index number 4. There you go. Easy, super easy, right? Because if you are like building this procedural, actually, let's do it. This like this is like, for example, this is your house, procedural house, and you just want to be able to give the artist that's making the layout, for example, you give the ability to move just the rooftop or to control this height of the roof. So just 2 controllers. In fact, if you want to tidy this up, you really want to just do that. So if you say now you want to make a bunch of this house, let's make it 10. 10 is a good number. And if we want to randomize the height and etc., it's as easy as actually randomizing this. Hopefully everything will work correctly. Random number generators. And plug this also in here. I was wrong. We shouldn't actually, we don't overcomplicate ourselves with the duplication here. This is a case when actually it's much easier if you put everything into like a monad. So if you want to make like a variations, it's much better to generate a bunch of them and then get from there. What I mean is, let's say we have one variation here, and if we like it, we just bake it, and we have one house, and we make slight modifications, and we bake it again. Just make like some variations. Actually, if I'm not wrong, 64 variations is actually quite ideal. 64 is the number. Or actually you can have like even like 24 or 20 variations and your eyes cannot actually tell too much about it. We don't need random number in this case, just make a bunch of them. Should be easy enough, and it's actually fun to do. I'll just make 4 for now, but you got the idea. So you want to have this kind of setup sometimes for whatever you're doing. This should be like the base model. If you want to do more, like for example adding like extrusion or things like that, you can definitely do that as usual. For example, extrude. We have the new extrude region node here. Extrude by along normal. We can do that. Plug this into that guy and this into that guy. There you go. That's a normal extrusions. You can bake it. You can actually like set it up for baking, let's say you want to have like 50 variations, you set this frame range into 50, and then you create a setup where Sverchok will do the baking at every frame. So you can do that quite easily using this setup. Oops. So make some variations and then bake it. So yeah, that's a quick look at another way we can access the component levels in Sverchok and kind of moving the index of vertices that way. So, might be slightly complicated, but you know that this is actually really powerful. If I have another example, yeah, this guy. So this is similar setup to what we have before. Just like a line. I have lots of lines, and I'm actually moving the line based on the selections. So that's our range of numbers being selected, and based on that, I'm selecting random number and kind of move it up in the z-axis. If I randomize the seed, that's actually changing the line. Where is the seed control? Peter. Okay, that's the seed controller. So that we can have that kind of animations with the line. It looks rather complicated, like complex, but you know what's going on. It's just like a line, and you're selecting the indices of the line procedurally, and that way you can have this pattern. So that's actually very powerful. For the house, seems like a simple thing, but it's become slightly more complicated than you might want to think of it. But yeah, it's actually very powerful once you understand what's going on. Oh, just now it seems to be, this guy seems to be generating something. Interesting. It has like, okay, there's another. Alright, that's pretty much it for this live coding video. Hopefully this is clear enough. If I didn't explain it properly, one day I'll revisit the topic and explain it better in shorter time. And anyway, if you have any comments, feedback, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.